What isn't as bad as you thought it would be? Getting shot down at the bar. It makes the next time easier. Just go for it. You've got nothing to lose anyways. Going to the gym and swimming in the public pool. I hadn't exercised since high school and hadn't swum in about 10 years. I'm very shy, and the idea of being in swimming trunks in front of strangers, or friends and family for that matter, was daunting. One night, I said screw it and went in. Nobody laughed. Nobody seemed to give a crap that there was a chubby guy using the pool. I made going to the gym and using the pool difficult for no other reason than insecurity. I was terrified of going to the gym in the beginning. I swore everyone was staring at the fat woman, thinking I'm disgusting and I should get the hell out of their beautiful people's place. I cried every single time I went for the first few weeks. I ran and hid every time I failed a rep or had to pause and take a break. It's not easy. I very nearly gave up. I kept pushing, and when I didn't want to, my turning point was when one of those beautiful people came up to me and told me I was inspiring them. The flabby chick with another 100 pounds to lose, who was constantly red in the face and could barely walk 2 miles on the treadmill, was inspiring to this extremely fit guy? He said he'd seen me having a rough time. He saw my tears, he saw my sweat, and he saw me fall. But he saw me. I kept coming back. I kept trying to better myself despite all the bullcrap, and if I could do that, then he could get over his case of don't want tos and do it anyway. Now he's a good buddy. I've made a lifelong friendship. I'm one of the beastliest, heaviest lifting ladies in my gym, and now when I fail a rep, I laugh. It's only a failure if you don't keep at it. LASIK eye surgery. I just had it done 2 weeks ago. The process itself scares the crap out of most people, and they assume the procedure is horrifying. It was like a 6-minute procedure and you barely knew what was going on. Now I see perfect 20/20 and have a lifetime guarantee as long as I do yearly checkups. 10 out of 10 would recommend it. IKEA is not as hard to put together. There are numbers for each pieces and visual directions on what to do. Agree 100%, I don't understand why IKEA being hard is a thing. I have an IKEA bed whose instructions specifically state that 2 people are needed to assemble it, and I've put it together myself 3 times. Building a PC. I guess everything is easy if you have a phone with a decent internet connection. The building part is a joke. The hard part is picking the right components that wouldn't bottleneck each other and give the best bang for the buck. If you don't want a bottleneck, just buy the most expensive part there is. That will obviously work. Talking to people. I have social anxiety. The other day, I went over to a friend's house for the first time in 3 years. My heart was racing. I threw up multiple times beforehand, but I was fine. It all went well. I had fun. Good for you! Being single. Just got out of a long-term relationship. Turning 30 this year. Thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with this girl and was devastated by the loss. I still miss her every day, and it still hurts to think about it, but I've learned to be more optimistic. I have a new job that I actually enjoy, I'm exercising more often, I'm moving into my own place. I'm starting to realize that it's not healthy to define yourself through a relationship. Something I didn't realize I was doing until everything was stripped away. You have to live for yourself and love yourself before you can do that for another person. I'm in the exact same boat, man, especially realizing you were defining yourself through a relationship. Cleaning. It doesn't sound very appealing, but the end result is worth it. It's rewarding and useful, and a clean house is so much nicer. My folks used to use cleaning as a punishment. When I grew up and moved out, and I knew I had to clean, but I always felt that weight on my chest like I was in trouble or did something bad, and I would be very angry while cleaning. It took ages for that feeling to go away. You do not get explosive diarrhea when you eat Taco Bell, or Indian food for that matter. Matar paneer is heaven on the tongue. Turning 40. I'm actually really digging my 40s, almost halfway through. I'm closer to having my crap together than I have ever been. I know who my friends are, how I fit into my own skin, and what I want and what I don't, in a broad sense. Middle age isn't so bad. Just turned 44. My life is nothing like what I pictured when I was 20, but I wouldn't trade it for almost anything. No, I don't own a house or have kids, and I don't make much money, but I live in a cool city with a guy I love, my jobs are interesting, and my mental health issues, which I spent a lot of my 20s and 30s battling, are pretty well sorted out. Plus, people always seem amazed when they find out how old I am, so that helps. Root canal. I'd heard how painful it was for my parents and grandparents who had them when I was growing up. Ended up needing one about 5 years ago. The technology of both the procedure and the painkillers and anesthetic has improved to the point that the only pain I felt was the first couple of Novocaine injections. Went in nervous as heck, but it was not so big of a deal. I think this has a lot to do with how much you wait to go to the dentist. I broke a tooth. I don't remember how to say big behind tooth, haha, and waited like 9 months because I didn't know it was a big deal. so when I finally went, it was infected. Anesthesia didn't work, so it hurt so much. I told the dentist to stop. The pain was a new level of pain. Never had I ever felt a pain so bad. I had to take antibiotics for 1 week before I could get the treatment done, and it didn't hurt. But I spoke with some older cousins and they told me they got the treatment done without the antibiotics, so they had to go through all the pain. I think you're looking for molar, but I'm gonna use big behind tooth from now on. Having a vasectomy. Both procedure and recovery were nowhere near as bad as I had heard. The worst part was getting headbutted in the nuts by my 2-year-old the next day. They were just reminding you why the pain was worth it. Too little too late. Asking a guy out. Even when the answer is no, it's better than just letting a crush stew. Maybe I should try asking guys out instead of asking girls all the time. Download Grindr as a test run to see how popular you'll be. Filing taxes. They aren't that difficult. Just follow the rules. They really aren't difficult, especially with so many online programs helping you out these days. But unfortunately, that's only the first layer. If you want to take advantage of taxes, it's a whole other ballgame. Agreed. Tax filing isn't bad. Tax strategy is very complex. My girlfriend breaking up with me. I thought I'd be depressed for days, but I'm just going on with my life. I've had that moment. A girlfriend of about 3 years dumped me while we were living together and packed up all of her things with the help of her best friend. I thought I was supposed to be sad, but couldn't muster a single tear for the girl because she had caused me so many problems. It ended up being one of the better moments in my life because I realized I could do a lot better and have been working on myself ever since between dates. Are you me? Same thing happened. Been moving on ever since. So much happier without her weighing me down. Talking to your crush. They could actually enjoy your company if you do it the right way. It's not even that I can't talk to pretty girls, I do it all the time, but the second I get a crush on someone, I cannot say anything and crumble around them. I just avoid crushes. Dude, that's because you are treating crushes like a different kind of being from normal girls, which they really aren't. You don't understand them, and they are unknown to you. Or that is how your brain is categorizing them. It's all about exploration and research. Think of it like the first time you stumble upon a snake. Just poke it with a stick. In this case, that could be maintaining eye contact and smiling when passing said crush in a hallway, and if you feel confident or need to get her attention, say hello, for example. From there, you keep testing the waters and building up confidence. Just keep breathing and you'll be fine. Don't avoid them or you'll never master interacting with them. It's all about baby steps. Motherhood seemed like a prison sentence of constant exhaustion and chores with absolutely no time for me. I'm having a blast with this little human I grew. Marriage has never been better. My husband and I got this crap down. I feel like I unlocked a hidden bonus stage in life. Sushi. I actually quite like it. If I were rich, sushi would be a main staple in my regular diet. If I were screw you rich, I'd have a Japanese sushi and ramen chef on hand and eat like an imperial queen empress for the rest of my days. Colonoscopy. People made jokes about it and it sounds crazy and uncomfortable to have a tube with a camera going up several feet up your ass, but the reality is that you get great IV drugs that knock you out and you wake up half an hour later or so and never experienced any of the actual procedure. The only part about the procedure that is unpleasant is not being allowed to eat the day before and having to take medicine. Drink the day before that makes you crap your brains out until you're literally pooping out water. Which is a bizarre experience. And the whole thing could save your life when they find cancer growing silently in your intestines. Several times I've seen someone online say, I'd rather get a colonoscopy than blah blah blah. There was nothing to it. When they asked me to count down from 10 to 0, I said 10, 9, 8, 7, boom, I was out. Woke up feeling really, really good. I remember telling the cute nurse that was wheeling me back to my post-procedure room that she could go ahead and throw a gallon of that stuff they gave me on my tab to take home with me. She was cracking up. I even had 2 polyps cut out during the procedure and felt no discomfort afterwards. The thing that was worse than I thought it would be, getting stung by a stingray. Holy crap, that's the most intense pain I've ever felt. Shuffle your feet through the sand when they're known to be close to shore to scare them away, people. You do not want to get hit by one. If you do get stung, submerge the wound in the hottest water that you can tolerate without damaging your skin. It neutralizes the venom and provides much-needed relief almost instantly. Cooking and baking. If you can follow simple directions, you can cook. I started out with a book called something like 4-ingredient recipes. It's incredibly satisfying to move into more complex recipes and then eventually things click, and you can make your own recipes by going into a store and just wandering the aisles looking for ideas because you understand how flavors work together. Giving up soda. I needed to lose weight and this was the easiest way to do it. I cut out everything but water and milk for 2 weeks. I had horrible headaches for a few days, but after that, it was a breeze. Occasionally, I want it, but it's been almost 2 years now, so it's not hard to say no. Plus, I save money when I go out to eat. When I was a teenager, I drank nothing but soda. Honestly, the switch over to water wasn't hard. I would guess I have been drinking water for almost 10 years now. Honestly, at this point, anything but water sounds disgusting. Either it has sugar and leaves your mouth feeling disgusting until you brush, or it has artificial sweetener in it and it is dry tasting and gross. My advice for anyone who is trying to switch over to the water is if the water tastes bad or bitter, then just try a different brand. They taste different. Some have a very slight sweetness, some a slight saltiness, and some bitter. Just keep trying different ones until you find one that doesn't taste bad for you. Don't try out different brands, just drink it from the tap. Or if tap water doesn't taste great, get a filter. Bottled water is hundreds to thousands of times more expensive than tap depending on where you're from. Working with others. In school, when you do group projects, you always got half the group who seem determined to fail. While adulthood certainly doesn't get rid of weak links, people are overall easier to work with because 1. You get to choose where you work, and 2. Everyone has bills to pay. Currently back at uni after quite a while working in semi-professional roles as wanting the qualifications that I needed to go into higher roles. Constantly have professors talking about how group projects prepare us for the real world. You'll have to work with people out there, but it's nothing alike. If I am in the workforce and I do nothing to contribute to a group project, I'm going to lose my job, or at least get seriously reprimanded by my boss. Not just a good grade on the back of my coworkers. Don't just sit there and be angry if someone is slacking off, but talk to your TA or teacher. I had a project a while ago where one guy was doing nothing. We told the teacher and he gave the guy a failing grade. The Lego Movie. I mean it. It was gonna be a movie about Lego. Who expected it to be good? But damn was I wrong. Never doubting Lego again. Have you seen Lego Batman? That's another level of amazing. No, I've been meaning to, but haven't got around to yet. It does indeed look amazing though. Renting. My parents told horror stories of renting all through high school and part of my college. Lived on campus as an RA, never rented. Once I began renting, it was nowhere near the horror they described. Almost all of my landlords have been sensible and wonderful people that just so happen to rent to college students. I think the real horror of renting comes from sharing a lease with friends or other classmates. Being responsible for people can be really stressful. For the landlord, it doesn't matter which one of you has paid rent or not, as long as the rent gets paid in full by the end of each month. Being a dad. Yes, the late night feedings and messy diapers suck. Other than that, my daughter is great to be around and always brings me cheer. On the other hand, being pregnant is way worse than I thought it would be. I'm 11 weeks and feel like I've had a month-long hangover. Wait until the 3rd trimester, where you might be legit worried if you sit on the couch while alone, you might not have a strategy to stand back up. Was in Iceland about 2 weeks ago. Everyone told me I had to try the fermented/rotten Greenland shark, which some people consider a delicacy. Turns out a Dutch woman in my hostel had some and offered me a taste. The smell was pretty bad. The taste isn't really all that bad, and I don't even really like seafood. So I'd say that fermented/rotted shark is not as bad as you think, if you get the chance to be adventurous and give it a try. Driving. This week my boss offered to take me out driving. I'm 25 and I have this crazy fear of driving. Earlier this week I watched a movie called Learning How to Drive. The woman in the movie just pulled out and drove. So the day my boss offered, I just accepted her offer. I did the same thing as the woman did in the movie. I just sucked it up and drove. The lesson lasted about an hour. It wasn't that bad at all, and I wasn't scared. I want to do it again. I'm 20 and haven't gotten my license yet. Everyone else around me started driving at 14 to 15. I've had pretty bad anxiety about it. I recently started driving a little bit, and it really is nice. You really do just reach a point where you gotta suck it up and drive. I tell myself not to panic about anything so I won't mess up. I feel better knowing I ain't the only one out there that has a fear of driving. Definitely giving birth. Had vaguely uncomfortable contractions right up to 9.5 centimeters. 20 minutes of pain after they broke my water. And then my son was out and on my chest. I felt like a badass. Glad to hear it. I'm at T- any day now. Congratulations! My wife was a week late, and the worst part about the birth was waiting for it to happen. You do so much to prepare yourself physically, emotionally, and intellectually. And then the due date passes without any fanfare, and you're left feeling kind of listless until the moment actually arrives. At least that was our experience. The birth itself was no picnic, but we had lots of support, knew what was supposed to happen, and in the end, you are left with the best reward ever. Plus, she doesn't really even remember much about the act of labor anyway, even with no drugs/epidural. Making exercise a habit. I've been living in India for about 4 months, and when I got here, I took up yoga 5 days a week. 2 hours a day. I get a fair amount of respect from my friends for getting up and going, but I literally have nothing else to do and nowhere else to go, except a few errands once a week, like taking my laundry to the laundry lady, refilling my phone plan, or buying bug spray. It gives me a structure to my days/weeks, which I'm happy about. Why and how did you move to India to do literally nothing? I wasn't aware that was even an option available in life. I saved money and leased my apartment to someone and took off. Officially, I'm a tourist, but I've been living in a bamboo and banana leaf hut on the beach, and I keep my expenses low in a country that's already cheap. My primary goal was to get healthier, body and mind, and lose weight, and I've done that. Having a 9-to-5 work life. It's great because how do I know when my friends are free? Oh right, it's Friday night through Sunday night. Hard mode is working 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. when the rest of your friends have 9-to-5s. Going outside without makeup on. After my cystic acne flared up at the beginning of my freshman year in college, which left me with lots of scarring, I grew insecure with my face and relied on makeup to cover it daily. Lately, I've just been learning to love myself more and not care about what others think. I tell myself all the time that I don't need to impress anybody, especially strangers in public that will highly likely never see me again. After going out a few times without makeup on, saving so much time getting ready to go out, I've realized that no one cares. People just focus on themselves as much as you focus on yourself when out in public. Changing my diet to lose weight and not be overweight anymore. I was hungry a few times a day for about 2 to 3 weeks. After that, I got used to it and it just became normal for me to eat the new amount of calories. I counted calories to make sure, but sticking to my diet required almost no willpower because it became normal for me so quickly. I expected it to be a lot more difficult because so many people struggle with losing weight so much. Going through a few weeks of being hungry to be able to eat normally for the last 1.5 years wasn't at all difficult for me. Definitely worth the temporary inconvenience. I went from 253 pounds to 187 pounds and have a healthy body and lifestyle once again. Any kind of social rejection. The worst humiliation can be forgotten in minutes if you're wise. I'm wise enough, I know I should forget it and move on, but the wiring in my brain and anxiety say hold on to that jackass thing I did in the summer of '93. Talking on the phone. I used to have a phone phobia and would never call anyone or pick up the phone. Then I got a job as a secretary and answering phone calls and calling people became my life. Now when I have to make appointments, it's no sweat. I still have to write out everything I have to say beforehand though because I'm likely to forget. Cold showers. I've been ending my normal showers with 60 to 90 seconds of as cold as my shower will go. The first week is hard, but you adapt very quickly. My heart rate barely jumps now, and ice baths are a breeze. The benefits are awesome. A better immune system, thicker hair, and just an overall feeling of happiness. Can't explain it. Thicker hair. Taking note of this one as a 21-year-old with thinning hair. Biotin, coconut oil, egg whites, argan oil, less shampoo, healthy diet, 8 hours of sleep. Thanks for watching until the end. If you have something to share, please do so in the comments below. Then be sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when our next video is available. For more videos just like this one, please stop by our channel. Thanks again, and see you next time.